Everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 3 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 3 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter multiplication skill builders. There you can find a list of the chapters. The lessons we're going to cover today are multiply by 0, multiply by 1, multiply by 2, and multiply by 3. And I'm on grade 3 maths. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is multiply by 0. Seven times 0. So any number when multiplying by 0, the answer is 0. So whatever number it is when you're multiplying by 0, the answer is 0. Seven times 0 is 0. Let's just start with the test questions. 0 times 0. 0 times 0 is 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. Seven times 0, which is the correct option. Seven times 0 is 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. Zero times 8. 0 times 8 is 0. Option number 3 is the correct option. 0 times 9 is 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 times 0 is 2 times 0 is 0. So whatever number it is, when you're multiplying with 0, the value is 0. One times 0 is 1 times 0 is 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. 0 times 5 is 0 times 5 is 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. 0 times 6 is 0. Option number 3 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself, Edipur. Let's just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is multiply by 1. 8 times 1. 8 times 1 is 8. Let's just start with the test questions. One times 7. 1 times 7 is 7. Option number 2 is the correct option. 8 times 1 is 8 times 1 is 8. Option number 2 is the correct option. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1 option, but 2 is the correct option. 1 times 2 equals 1 times 2 is 2. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 times 1. So whatever number you are multiplying to 1, the number stays the same. 2 times 1 is 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. 9 times 1 is 9 times 1 is 9. Option number 2 is the correct option. 4 times 1 is 4 times 1 is 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. 8 times 1 equals 8 times 1 equals 8. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3 times 1 equals 3. Option number 1 is the correct option. 1 times 0. 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. 1 times 4 equals 1 times 4 equals 4. Option number 2 is the correct option. 5 times 1 equals 5 times 1 equals 5. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself for today. Let me just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is multiply by 2. 10 times 2. 10 times 2 is 20. Let's just start with the test question. 8 times 2, so which is the correct option? That is 8 times 2 makes 16. The correct option is option number 2. Ten times 2 equals 28 is option number 1 is the correct option. 2 times 10 equals 2 times 10 is 20. Option number 1 is the correct option. 6 times 2 is 6 times 2 is 12. Option number 2 is the correct option. Zero times 2 equals 0 times 2 is 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. Times 6 equals 12. It is option number 1 is the correct option. 9 times 2 equals 9 times 2 is 18. Option number 2 is the correct option. Times 8 equals 16. It is option number 1 is the correct option. 2 times 8 is 16. 10 times 2 equals 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. Ten times 2 equals 10 times 2 is 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. Times 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. Eight times 2 equals 8 times 2 is 16. We are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to the next lesson. The next lesson is multiply by 3. 7 times 3. 21. Let's just start with the test questions. 3 times 3, which is the correct option. 3 times 3 is 9. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3 times 6. That is 18. 3 times it is 18. Option number 2 is the correct option. Six times three equals 18. It is option number 2 is the correct option. 6 times 3 is 18. Three times 5, which is the correct option. That is 15. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3 times 5 means 15. Three times 4 equals 3 times 4 equals 12. Option number 2 is the correct option. Ten times 3 equals 10 times 3 is 30. Option number 2 is the correct option. Five times 3 equals 15. Option number 2 is the correct option. Zero times 3 equals 0 times 3 is 0. Option number 3 is the correct option. Times 3 equals 0 2 times 3 is 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. 7 times 3 equals 21 it is. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself with your day. Let's just move to the next lesson. The next lesson is multiply by 4. Let's just start with the lesson. Let's just start with the test questions. Ten times 4 equals 10 times 4 equals 40. Option number 2 is the correct option. 4 times 9 equals 4 times 9 equals 36. Option number 2 is the correct option. 4 times 8 equals 4 times 8 equals 32. Option number 2 is the correct option. 4 times 4 equals that is 16. 4 times 4 equals 16. 4 times 1 equals 4 times 1 equals 4. Option number 2 is the correct option. 2 times 4 that is 8. 4 times 2 equals 8. Option number 2 is the correct option. 4 times 5 equals 4 times 5 is 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. 5 times 4 equals 28 is option number 2 is the correct option. 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 10 equals 28. It is option number 1 is the correct option. Times 1 equals 4 times 1 equals 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. 4 times 10 equals 40. 4 times 10 equals 40. Option number 2 is the correct option. 7 times 4 equals 7 times 4 is 28. Option number 2 is the correct option. 0 times 4 is 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. 4 times 0 equals 4 times 0 equals 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3 times 4 equals 3 times 4 equals 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, we are done with the lesson. So we were working on grade 3 math. The chapter we were working on is multiplication by builders. The lessons we have covered today are multiply by 0, multiply by 1, multiply by 2, multiply by 3, and multiply by 4. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please ask questions if you have any. Any questions? Okay, then that's all. No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session.